The Open Studio.
You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a
Hey, what's going on out there in Twitch.tv land? This is the Open Studio, your only place for art and entertainment every other Thursday of the month. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoy that intro, it was made by a very talented man, Michael Gow. You can check out his SoundCloud at Bubba Rap with a W. And if you like this background and some of the other virtual dimensions I'll be floating around in throughout the show, those were made by Jackie Manti. You can follow her Instagram at macro.baby, macro baby on the Insta. So, man, we got a great show for you guys tonight, jam-packed with some funny, some music, and some things in between. What's in between funny and music? I guess you'll just have to stay for the whole 50 minutes to find out. Thank you for tuning into this. I know you have 2 town halls to choose from, and you're here with us now, so thank you for choosing that. Maybe you got all 3 queued up. That sounds insane, but you know what? These are insane times. Do what you got to do to get by. If you're missing the town halls to be here, go ahead and sound off in the chat if you have any political questions you want answered. I will answer them town hall style. If you want to know my political valences, I'm like if Marianne Williamson liked college football. So that's what you're going to be dealing with answer-wise. So I just think if you're asking me political questions, I just think I'm on a better cocktail of drugs to give you a more satisfying answer. So no uppers over in the studio here, just very mild hallucinogens. So I think I'm going to give you better answers on things all the way from climate change to the over-under of the first Ohio State game on October 24th. So please sound off in the chat. And let's get going. We got a new sponsor this week. We're now sponsored by the Lincoln Project, So sound off in the chat how you feel about that. We're committed to getting Donald Trump out of the White House and also to making the Iraq war longer and more deadly to civilians. So a lot of good stuff going on at the Lincoln Project. Sound off in the chat. I'm Justin Golak. We got a great lineup going on tonight. Let me tell you about that. We got Elsie Howe. She is doing a PowerPoint presentation. We got Jake Myers. He's showing a video. And we got the Metaleaks playing music. I got little previews in the tech run through before the show, and they're all going to be great. So please keep tuning in. Please keep watching those. And as far as the Open Studio, what is it? It's the show. You're watching it. So it seems pretty obvious what the Open Studio is. But it's also a community that we're trying to build, that we are building, that is kind of par built already. So feel free to hop on in. We have a Discord server. If you want to collaborate with people, if you want to show some of your art, maybe you want some critiques on some of your art, maybe you want to just throw around some ideas, maybe you just want to consume art. That's obviously always something that's needed in not only these times, but all the time. So if you want to come there and browse art, we actually have a new gallery walk feature. You can check that out. You can look at art, visual art videos, and it's really, I've played around with the setup we got, and it really is like the closest thing digitally to being in like an actual physical art gallery space. So that's live now. Just go to the gallery walk tab at the Discord for the Open Studio. And literally everything I talk about, I mean, I'll probably try to verbally say where to go, but the easiest thing to do is just scroll down to the description on this video and just click some links, because that's easy, right? Do that. So go to the server now. Well, actually, don't go to the server now because the show's going on, but go in 50 minutes and stay there for the next 14 days until the next show. Also, we're taking submissions for this show at the server, and we actually have a Halloween show coming up. That's our next show on the 29th. So if you're interested in submitting content for that or for any show, check that out. We still got some open slots available for kind of everything right now, but we're filling up very fast because we're trying to book throughout the end of the year. So I think that's about it. Let's get into the show. Like I said, we got Elsie Howe coming up first, doing something very funny for you. But before we get into that, let's buffer it with a farce. Thank you guys for coming out, and please stick around. A study was done that showed Magnum condoms are the same size as standard condoms made by the same company. The Magnum brand is a marketing strategy, not a true indication of product size. I told a friend this and he was incensed. He had used standard condoms and Magnum condoms and believed that the standard condoms were too tight, but the Magnum condoms fit perfectly. I told him he perceived the fit that way not because his dick is that big, it's because his mind is that strong. Sometimes I look at the trending section of a porn website and I think, is this really what people are into? Regardless of my own sexual proclivities, sometimes I jerk off to the porn in the trending section of a porn website to feel like part of a community. A foot fetish has to be the best fetish to have because it's a lot easier to see people's feet than the other parts of people's bodies that most people are attracted to. If I invited a woman over to my house and told her to take off her shirt, that would be wildly inappropriate. However, if I invited a woman over to my house and told her to take off her shoes, she would think it would be rude of her not to. That's why the best thing has to be being Japanese and having a foot fetish. Some women want a female president because they believe that if a woman is in power, they will live in a country that treats female citizens better. I wonder if those women know that the president of North Korea is Korean. I watched a documentary about a cemetery in Texas that's segregated by race. That was probably the most racist thing I've ever seen. I can't think of anything more racist than dividing people by race at a time when none of those people have skin. I think people like racism because people invented race. I also think that's why people like God. Before a fight, mixed martial arts fighters are weighed in at a big event. When they're weighed, there are always two beautiful women standing behind the scale, framing the male fighter on both sides while he's weighed in. Now that there are women mixed martial arts fighters, I assumed when they got weighed in, there would be two beautiful men standing behind the scale, framing the female fighters as they got weighed in. But no. Two beautiful women framed the female fighters, just like for the male fighters. At first I thought this was unfair, but when I saw it in practice, I realized how strong, athletic, and tenacious it made the female fighters look, being framed by members of their same gender who, while beautiful, were very demure and fragile. If I were a male mixed martial arts fighter, I think I would request to be beset on both sides by two 19-year-old twinks in short shorts while I was weighed in. I would love to see a homosexual male mixed martial arts fighter. I think making a man come and knocking a man out in the same day is the most alpha thing you can do. In the end, if you're Japanese, having a foot fetish would fit perfectly with your cultural norms and practices. But living under a Japanese president wouldn't necessarily be better for you unless that Japanese president shared your political beliefs and outlooks. That's one thing I'm sure about. Hey, thank you guys for tuning into that. Thank you for all the Marxists sounding off in the chat. Dirty, dirty fetishes from you. Dirty, dirty Marxists, and I love it. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we got a great thing coming up now. I want you to give a big virtual round of applause to the very funny. Give it up for Elsie Howe, everybody.
I took love, but I guess I deserved it. Trying to hide, pass you by.
Okay, hi. Hey everybody, I'm actually not Elsie. Elsie donated her time for me to speak about a cause that she cares about and a cause that's very personal to me. So let's just get it out of the way right now. Yes, the Geico Gecko is my son. Presentation by Deborah. Hi, I'm Deborah. A couple things about me. I vote Democrat. I live in Appleton, Wisconsin, and I'm currently the receptionist at the Copperleaf Boutique Hotel and Spa. Um, and so, yes, the Geico Gecko is my son, and I think you're wondering. Um, Pretty simple answer, adoption. It's very similar to the Stuart Little situation. I was in an orphanage in South America. I saw a sentient lizard on the wall, and I thought, that's going to be my little guy. So we've sort of been a family. Here's us at dinner. Here's him playing some Little League soccer. Here's him learning. He's in class. I always felt bad. Appleton's not very diverse, and he was always one of the only lizards, but we got through it. Here he is playing with some Polly Pockets. I always wanted him to have some friends his own size. He always put on the fun little rubber shoes. Still like to chew on them, even though I'm 47. Here he is at prom with his prom date. Sarah McCall, she's an RN now, sweet girl. Here he is at a Quiz Bowl competition with his friends Will, Rohan, Abraham, and Ethan. They're all still buds. Here we are at Disney World together. This was his first day at college. I will say this one's photoshopped. I forgot to take a picture. He didn't have this much stuff, actually, because all of his personal items fit into this plastic pencil case that I actually did have to carry for him. He's very small. In college, he got very into theater. Here he is in a production of The Wizard of Oz. After college, you guys know the story. He moved to Los Angeles. So there he is with a Hollywood sign. And after 5 or 6 years of working really hard, he finally landed his first commercial. Oh.
This is my final plea. I am a gecko, not to be confused with Geico, which could save you hundreds on car insurance. So stop calling me.
So we used to always go to stop calling me at the end of our calls because he's anyway. I know you're wondering, why does he have that accent? It's because the director thought that the Yorkshire accent was a little bit more relatable to the working class. You might recognize the Yorkshire accent from the BBC show Keeping Up Appearances. It was on PBS. Unfortunately, he did get addicted to gas station slot machines. I haven't spoken to him in about 7 years because of this. And whippets, they're very small, but again, he's a little guy. One of these will last him quite a few months, unfortunately. If you're listening, Geico Gecko, if anybody on the Twitch stream out there knows his whereabouts, just know that when you come home, I'll make your favorite food, scalloped potatoes. We will watch your favorite show, Alias. We'll listen to Keith Urban, and here's some bullet points. I love you, and I've been leaving a table setting and cooking for two this entire time, even though your plate is just the cap of a Gatorade bottle. I've been working very hard on my mini food skills. So Geico Gecko, please come home. And this is when I'll just open it up to any questions anybody in the Twitch audience might have. Go ahead and throw those questions in the chat, and I'll go ahead and answer them. Any questions about me, the Geico Gecko and our relationship, yeah, anything like that. What was his best role in college? He was Puck in A Midsummer's Night Dream, and he did a wonderful job. But the audience did complain afterwards that they could not find him on stage. What should we do if we see the Geico Gecko? Should we approach him or call 911? I will give you my personal number. I will DM it to literally everybody watching right now. And please call me. Yeah, don't call 911. What's his real name? His real name is Flavius. That's what he came with. Yeah. Flavius Jefferson. Okay, LOLs, thank you. Count Hannibal. Is there a reward for his whereabouts? Yes, I will make you a couple casseroles, and then I have a couple savings bonds that I will throw your name on. What was his favorite role? Okay, that's a tough one. He was in the Seussical musical. He was the Lorax. Again, people couldn't see him on stage, but I did sew him myself a big furry mustache. He talks. Bye.
Of keeping you in the right direction. No matter how your confidence may fall, I'll be here as your foundation. And I say, hey, yo, just let it go. Your struggles won't remain. And I say,
All right, we zapping over from the spoken word dimension over here to the audience, or sorry, to this interview dimension. Elsie House / Deborah, thank you so much. That was so great.
Thank you.
I didn't know what your character was when you first logged into the Zoom meeting before the show, and I was just like, I'll be honest, I kind of like that sweater. And then like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, I get why she's wearing that sweater, but I still like it. Is that pure costume, or do you sometimes wear that socially?
I wear this socially, and I think honestly my aesthetic is of an older woman. That's probably a mom.
Are you like excited to be 45 years old? Like, do you just feel like you're in the waiting room for what you were born to be, just like a 45-year-old Midwestern woman?
I think that inside I'm very young. Like, I have friends that feel like they've been old their whole lives, but I feel just as dumb as I was at like 16. So hopefully I continue that energy when I'm like 45.
You know what? Kind of coalescing all that together, I think it sounds like you'd make a great aunt. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
My brother is watching right now, and what's up, Ray Ray?
Is it older brother or younger brother?
He's older by 2 years, but he did take his time graduating college, so people often think that I'm older.
Okay, fair enough. Plus, Ray Ray has very like younger brother vibes for like a name.
What's up?
I said Ray Ray has very like younger brother vibes in terms of name as well.
Yeah, and he's like much cooler than me. Like, he like fishes with a bow and arrow. He plays rugby. He's tall. He looks like the guy from Moana. He's probably gonna be mad that I said that.
Wait, like the big giant guy that The Rock voiced?
Yeah, and he has big curly hair, and he actually looks Filipino, and I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he does sound cooler than you. I mean, I wanted to kind of like find a way to not say that, but it does sound like a cooler person. Objectively. Is that like, so is that just speaking on the aesthetic, because I really do think we're walking a line. Is that virtual background, is that a dream kitchen, or is that purely a Deborah kitchen? Because it looks kind of like a cool kitchen.
Honestly, both. Yeah, honestly, a little bit of both. Like, this is my mid-century mod dream.
I as just a goof, I was hanging out with some friends a little bit earlier in quarantine, and I threw up like the Seinfeld apartment as my virtual background, and like multiple people as soon as I signed in were like, "Oh man, your place looks really nice. I don't know if I've been there in a while, but like it's a really cool apartment." I was like, "Yeah, it's like the Seinfeld apartment." They're like, "I see it now." But yeah, sometimes it just feels good to imagine you're living in New York in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just dating a different woman every week, just living the dream. Are you still in Chicago, Elsie?
Yeah, I live in Ravenswood now.
Okay, so how are you coping with the pandemic? What are you doing? Have you not left in your house in 7 months? Are you just like, just going out and just spitting in people's faces, just being like, I don't care, or something in between?
I used to live in a very, very small apartment that was like really good for my lifestyle because I was never ever home. But then as soon as the pandemic happened, I lived in like a 10 by 10 square with 2 roommates, and it just was not good. Like, my mental health was bad. But now I live alone. Just started fostering a cat on Tuesday. He's sleeping, but his name is Scoobert Dubois, also known as
Again, I just think it's great that, again, like your character, Deborah, is the mother to a gecko, but real life Elsie, foster mother to a cat. So again, like not that far off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Dude, I always think about how lucky I am, because right now I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment with a wife, and it's making tolerable. But for so long, my Chicago was a studio apartment with an air mattress, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get locked down in that stage of life. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to escape to better circumstances.
Thank you so much. I am too.
How is living alone? I mean, in the pandemic, because my thought was always living alone is just tight as hell. But does this put more of a negative spin on it? Do you wish you had someone there to like, just bounce off of, or is it still tight to live by yourself?
It's kind of tight. I do so my apartment got robbed last November, the one that I lived in previous. So I'm still kind of like traumatized from that. And like anytime I hear any noise, I'm like, oh my God. But the cat kind of helps because I feel like if he's not freaking out, then I shouldn't freak out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great barometer, just so you know.
Yeah, he's a really friendly cat, so maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's more of like a dog attribute. I think you're.
But yeah, I do like, I don't know, I work on a lot of impressions and not feeling weird doing a pajama Sam impression at like 2 in the morning is tight as hell.
So wait, now were you in the apartment when it got broken into last November?
No, I was at the dentist. He did it in the middle of the day, but I usually work from home the day that he robbed it. And then I came home and it was the weirdest thing because like my window was open and a plant was on the ground, but I was still like, I must have just like left my apartment really quickly and left the window open. And then like the way that I noticed I'd been robbed is I went, hey, Google, play Field Medic or something to like calm myself down because I was having a stressful day. And then I just realized that it wasn't there. And then none of my stuff was there. And I like called my friends and I was like, where's my stuff? And they were like, you got robbed. There's no way you didn't get robbed. Everything expensive that you have is gone. You got robbed.
That is such a great that's such a great 2010s, 2020s story is that you find out you got robbed because your digital assistant does not communicate back to you. It's just so, I love that whole story. I once woke up in the morning, like I woke up from my morning sleep to a guy in my apartment. And I don't think I have enough time to get into that story because we got to wrap up, but I'll pocket it. Maybe that is like an intro story sometime in the future. I think the only reason I survived the encounter was because I was so tired that I just didn't have time to be worried. So I just kept going like, you got to go, man. You got to go. And I just kind of ushered him out of my apartment. And I was kind of chatting him about the doorway. And my morning alarm went off. And that's how I know he had my phone. Because I was like, did you take anything? I was like, I'll give you $20 if you didn't take anything. Because like he just seemed like a homeless guy. Like I felt bad for him. He's like, no, man, I didn't take anything. And then like my alarm instantly started going off right at that moment. And I was like, dude, that's my alarm. Give me my phone back. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then I was like, wait outside. But I'll give you $20 because I felt bad for him, and it worked out okay. But yeah, it was pretty insane. But Elsie, thank you so much for doing the show. That was so funny. You're so great. I can't wait till I get to see you perform in the real time, in the real life again. But yeah, you were great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Bye, Elsie. All right, so we are going to go to our next performer. We're going to shoot over here from the guest dimension over to the video dimension. We're going to have Jake Myers show you a video. So keep watching, and we're going to watch that now.
I do it all before I die. I want to get it on tonight. I want to get you one more time. I really want to cross the line.
Attention students, meet in the auditorium today at 2 p.m. Luxury condos available soon. Schedule a tour next week. Luxury condos available soon. Schedule a tour next week.
CPS schools have been closed for more than a year due to contract disputes and budget cuts. Parents and students are eager for a solution.
I really like routine in my life. And school just kind of provided me with that. And I need to get back into Model UN.
Honestly, I thought I was going to get this little monster into kindergarten.
Tech giant Larry Allen is rolling out his much anticipated solution to this year-long standstill as we speak.
My name is Larry Allen, and I am very excited to present to you the future of education. This is SchoolNet. Everyone deserves to be a part of this revolution, and no one should be left behind.
Now we're just gonna end up being mutant kids, half technology, half biology, walking around, pooping out motherboards.
Remaining members of the now defunct Chicago Teachers Union are calling this announcement one of the biggest corporate takeovers in modern history.
This is like the biggest corporate takeover ever. They don't care about these kids. All they care about is the bottom line, money. Oh, kids, come and sit on a toilet all day with your fancy headset on and just sit there drooling and pissing on yourself all day.
Using the latest groundbreaking technology, I have created SchoolNet. SchoolNet gives all of us the opportunity to learn whatever we want.
Reality is just a simulation. Change the simulation. Change reality.
All right, zipping over from the video dimension back over here to the guest dimension, Jake Myers. So what we just watched was essentially like a trailer of a full-length film that you have coming out soon. So, I mean, again, it's just funny because a lot of people have been sounding off in the chat how it's. I'm assuming you had this idea pre-COVID and you shot it pre-COVID, but obviously it's looking more and more realistic when it seems like it's probably be like, oh man, if this happened to me pretty wild, thank God it won't. But also, I mean, I'm assuming COVID hampered your plans for like a big release kind of event. So again, I know it's like, I guess just, I don't know a good way to coalesce that into a question, but like in general, what has it been like seeing that happen? And also just because I think probably it seems like a lot of people are really interested in this concept and interested in the things they've seen. So like, how can they find this film since COVID has thrown kind of a speed bump into that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I wrote the movie 4 years ago. To address the first thing that you said, I wrote the movie 4 years ago. And in the movie, it's got a historic teacher strike that shuts down schools. And then it's got a bunch of kids e-learning on screens. And then it's got a germophobic tech billionaire that hides himself the whole time this is happening and operates his tech company remotely the whole time. So it's been a real bummer to see all of those things come true since I wrote the movie 4 years ago. But yeah, in March, I was planning on doing a big release. Mid-March, we had a whole theater sold out at the Logan Theater for the premiere. And I was like, okay, we'll work something out. We'll do the premiere as soon as the pandemic's over. And now it's 8 months later. So I think I'm going to put it up online just so that people can see it. And I think I'm going to do it tomorrow in remembrance of the historic CTU strike that was exactly a year ago. And I'm going to leave it up for free for 11 days.
Okay. And is there like a website or a social media handle people can follow to like find out when it's up and where it's at?
Yeah, the Instagram handle right down there. I will make the announcement tomorrow at that Instagram handle, and then I'm going to email everyone too who is involved in the film so they can spread the word.
Awesome. So now, do you have like actual? So I'm assuming there's like characters who are high schoolers in this film. Now, were you able to get actual high schoolers, or did you have to go the Saved by Bell route and just use 28-year-olds?
That's the perfect question because the answer is both. Because I teach at a high school, I teach at Jones College Prep, and Jones is home to some of the most talented, brilliant kids like in CPS. They're a lot smarter and more talented than me, which is pretty great. So I had a handful of Jones graduates in the movie.
Nice.
And then I had a handful of friends of mine who were, you know, about to turn 30 at the time, and they acted in it as well.
Yeah, and you just got to shave, and you just got to, you know, use your face cream, get those wrinkles out, and you're going to be playing.
Make your hair dumb.
Yeah.
That's the key. Just like make your hair something you would never imagine. And then people are like, oh, that's a teenager. I know what teenagers look like.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tightrope to walk because it's either like you look like a teenager or you just look like that, like, hey, what's up, fellow kids meme. You know, it's like a real danger zone kind of situation. But from what I've seen from the trailer, it looks like you nailed it. So I don't even know if what I was looking at was the real high schoolers or not. And I think that's, you know, that's the best thing you can have.
That's perfect. Oh my God. The person who's 30 is going to think that's a wonderful compliment. All right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's weird times. I don't want to say like calling someone, hey, like you look good. You look 17 years old. I just like, I don't want to commit to that in these times. Right. But in general, I do think it is a compliment. So yeah, sound off in the chat, compliment these people and compliment them in real life. What would you, I've been thinking about this recently. Like obviously, like, I want the best for the kids in the world and the parents dealing with this situation and the teachers. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it's been said enough. And I don't know if people are just trying to be, like, polite. But, like, I was a real piece of shit kid. Like, if they were like, you don't have to go to school for a year, I'd be like, hell yeah. So, like, but it seems like the whole refrain is like, we got to get these kids back. We got to make it safe. We got to teach them calculus on the computer. I'd been like, I would just be loving this. I would definitely be the kid like Googling stuff, finding out how to like get a GIF of my face on the screen so I could be off screen playing like Road Rash on Sega Genesis or something. I know those two technologies don't like line up because I was young then and not now, but like, how would you feel? Would you miss school or would you be like, hell yeah, year-long snow day?
If I were in high school, I'd be like, hell yeah, snow day, snow year, bring it on. But as a teacher, man, like teaching from home and knowing that it's just like kids playing Minecraft for the most part on the other end, you're just like, okay, this is a great use of my time talking to icons by myself.
Yeah, man. And I have some, I have some friends who are like teachers for sure. And I have some friends who are parents who are just like, I thought I loved my kids, but I don't think I do. I finally, people are talking about how the quarantine's causing divorces. I also think it's going to cause like, you know, dad going out for a pack of cigarette disease too, because like, I think, you know, when I had like just 8-hour chunks without you, like it was pretty tight. And now I'm trying to teach you, you know, geography. And it's just, I don't like you as much, you know?
Right. Yeah. You fart more than I thought you did, little kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I fill the room.
I mean, maybe moms are different because I think moms are sometimes just better people, but like you know, my friends are men, so they're dads. And I mean, I'm just, obviously I'm joking. They love their kids, but it's definitely an energy. It's definitely an energy. Like, yeah, I kind of got in this to play catch, not to long division to like a 4-year-old. So yeah, like
I thought I was done with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, Jake, thank you so much. I really encourage people to follow. It looks like @computer_hackers on Insta. I'll definitely be checking out the film when it comes out, and it seems like a lot of people in the chat are interested, so I'm sure they will too. Jake Myers, thank you for showing that to us, and I hope your next film that you put out gets that giant sold-out theater. You know, hopefully we're all going to get all those things in the after times, but I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us, man.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, we are going to zip out back from the guest dimension. We got one more guest. We're zipping over to the music dimension, closing out the show. We got a band this week. All right, we've had individual musicians and they've been great, but we got a full band Everybody give a virtual round of applause for the Metal Leaks, everybody. The Metal Leaks.
Defeated by the dreams and the memories we've made. To see it crashing out the skies like a tidal wave down on me. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can.
My regiment, I know it's a controversy to take the skin from the living. My beauty regimen, tragic, nervous perfection. Skin forever. This big dream. My soul is society can't touch. My very legend and my aspirations are up the dancing. My very legend and my seduction, we come to the section. Skin forever. Cold and clean, it's empty. My self-esteem and cold. Society can't touch me. My self-esteem and cold. Skin forever. It's been a dream of skin. My self-esteem and cold. Forever skin, forever skin, skin forever.
Think like that, I will love you endlessly. If you only believe me, don't you think like that, I will love you endlessly. If you only believe in me,
You could be with anyone, I could be with anyone.
you could be with
We are back over here in the guest dimension, zipping over from the music dimension. The Metal Leaks, everybody. So we got Elias Mason and June York. They are the Metal Leaks. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for doing the show. Definitely, I would say just like standout I would say, standout for visual performance thus far in our run. So thank you guys for putting so much into that. Are you in just an apartment right now?
We're in a vortex right now.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying though. But you put it like wherever you are, whatever you did, it looks amazing. So again, it just shows what you can do in these kind of like crazy times. You can still transport yourself to a vortex, and really do cool stuff, man. Yeah, your guys' performance was great, and you got some again like what was your guys' live performance kind of schedule like in the before times, and are you missing it now?
We actually performed at a weird business lounge in the Loop. It's on the 27th floor at like 227 West Monroe.
Okay.
We would do that once a month. And then we would do, we probably perform a couple times a month. We usually play with a Superfly saxophone player and a brilliant keyboardist.
I just want to mention that we're in the same germ bubble because we're also roommates. So that's how we were able to perform together safely.
Yeah, I mean I think that's always a really bonding experience because it's like you guys know now if one of you gets COVID, like you guys all get COVID. Are you prepared to take that journey together of either being healthy or taking like large amounts of mind altering steroids together, whichever comes first?
Yeah, we're doing A through Z, and we have a cat. She's gonna get COVID. I'm gonna get COVID, and no, we're just kind of swimming in germicide and trying to do it with a smile.
Yeah, I mean, I have really bad seasonal allergies, so every time I sneeze, I have a panic attack essentially, and I just assume that I've been infected. And I was just like, I know one of these trips to the grocery store is going to kill me. Is this the one? So it's just wild times.
Aldi is worth it, you know.
Yeah. So, so like, have you guys been doing? I heard you got something that you recorded not that long ago coming out soon. So where can people check that out?
We are almost done with the music video that we shot at the public access station, Can TV, before this little kerfuffle. And that will be eventually on Instagram. So, yeah, it might hit a couple other spots first, but it will eventually make its way to Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Instagram is the only good social media. What do you guys feel? Do you guys have like a favorite? I think it's the only good one.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I like Napster, but Napster, Friendster, but Instagram's pretty good.
Instagram's it's such a bummer it got bought by Facebook. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like when that annoying kid on the block is the first one to get Super Nintendo, and you're like, I want to play that Super Nintendo, but I don't want to hang out with that kid. But you know, what can he do? He's got the power. Yeah, like, what was I gonna say? I forget now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. You guys are great, man, and I love Instagram because you can put like video content up now, and it's like very habitable to that. So I'm sure you guys' Instagram is great. I'm sure like that video is going to be great. It's nice to have some stuff that you shot in the can before you had to essentially shut up and not really do any more things like that.
True. Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to keep the synthesizer hot over here, but it's true. We've had plenty to work on that we shot beforehand. Oh yeah, we just got a theremin, so we're gonna get some B movie, 50s
oh yeah,
movie type of. Yeah, our neighbors are gonna love it.
Oh yeah. What is the neighbors? Did you hear any like pounding of a broom on the ceiling while you guys were playing your set right now, or do you have a pretty chill setup?
We have like we're pretty good with people in the building. There is a lady downstairs who's permanently angry, but I like to know that. So yeah, people have been pretty cordial putting up with our smoke machine, and
These walls are paper thin.
Yeah, the walls are paper thin, but it's fine for us.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like people are being, I would say that is just a PSA. If you have neighbors who are being extra loud during the pandemic, like, you got to cut them a break, right? This is the only place we have to create now, so you gotta deal with the noise, at least until we get that Bill Gates vaccine. All right, last question. You're talking about synthesizers, saxophones, theremins. You got a widespread. Real quick, last question, lightning round for each of you. Favorite musical instrument? Go.
The kazoo.
Nice.
Kazoo. Yeah, I've been getting into some retro drum machines, so that's gonna be my answer tonight.
Hell yeah, I like retro drum machines. Very cool answer. I love the answer of kazoo. That's the instrument of the people. Everyone can play it. So, we're talking about, creating a livable wage and unions in the chat. So, we're all about things that can get the community involved. And I think the kazoo, it's pretty much the most Marxist of all the instruments. It's for the people. So thank you guys so much for being heroes of the proletariat and for playing our show tonight. You guys are amazing. Please check out the Metal Leaks Instagram, and please check out our show in a couple weeks. But that is it for this week for the Open Studio. So I'll zip right back over here into the mothership dimension just to say, hey, you see these things below me? You know what these are? These are jack-o'-lanterns, because we got Halloween coming up. Our next show 2 weeks from now on October 29th is going to be our Halloween show. It's pretty booked up, but we got a few spots left. If you have any spooky content, go to the Discord, find the submission link, and then submit to be a part of the Open Studio show. We got some guest appearances. We got some people helping me out on the hosting end. So spooky surprises, a lot of fun. So if you like our format, but you also want a little twist on it, I would not miss the show October 29th. Definitely check that out. If you've enjoyed how this show has looked, if you like these little pumpkins, if you like everything that's going on my screen except for my face, that is very acceptable, and that is all because of Michael Garrity and Stephanie Duffy doing a co-directing job in our virtual booth, making everything look great. And I really enjoyed this lineup tonight. I think everyone did great. So as I always say, go down to the description if you want to find anything more about the show or anything more about the performers you saw. You forgot, where was I supposed to go to find out about that film? Just check out the description and you can find all that out. And definitely don't forget to join our Discord. And if you like the show at all, and you want to throw us a couple bucks, there's also a way to tip down in the description. And that goes all directly to the artist, anything that comes in. So thank you guys so much. That is our show for this week. Have a good 14 days, and we'll see you back then. Bye, everybody.
Kids across the land, Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah.